To shed more light on the issue, we are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Ambassador Bayoumi, good afternoon to you. Hello, sir. Hello?
I hear you. Yes, hello, hello, hello.
Yes, hello, sir. Sir, how would the cooperation between Egypt and the African nation is important to reach the developmental milestones, serve the whole continent as stated by Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry?
It is very important because we are African after all, and we are what we call the entrance door of Africa from the north. And we have a long history since Pharaonic time, when our grandfathers sent their ships beside the western coast of Africa up to Cameroon and the eastern part also. I visited many African countries, and I give you an example that when we met the late His Royal Highness Sobhoza of Swaziland, his pamphlet about his country is proud that he is coming from Pharaonic origin. Same thing when I was ambassador in Cameroon. There are some tribes who are still building their houses as a shape of pyramids. And the third way to penetrate in Africa, it was during Muhammad Ali Pasha. They followed the River Nile up till the beginning of the River Nile everywhere. That's why we have this history. We are very close to Africa. We are very accepted in Africa because all of this history. Of course, in our modern history, Gamal Abdel Nasser is a quite good name if you mention that you are coming from the country of Gamal Abdel Nasser, who helped the whole African countries for the independence. Boutros Ghali has his opinion also there, and he helped me a lot with his wise advices when I was ambassador in Africa. So we are privileged recently when President Sisi took office because we lacked the presidency level of diplomacy before the revolution and for something like 20 years ago. Now our president, mashallah, he is active. He went everywhere to cover this very important file of our foreign affairs. And he presided and he chaired the African Union in 2019. Egypt represented the continent in the Security Council for 2 years. So name it. And we are everywhere in Africa. And we are keen to have direct relations with every single African countries.
Sir, how does the new Tanzanian dam highlight the importance of the Nile Basin developmental cooperation from your point of view?
It is one example how you can manage together Egypt and some African countries to have the best relations. It is an example where we went there. The Arab constructor is building the dam. We shall help them to sell their electricity because they don't need all this electricity. Egypt now is becoming a supplier of energy in general, especially of electricity. We are building now our line to go to Europe through Greece and Cyprus. So they are keen to continue this sort of cooperation. Both countries are benefiting from such a relation. And I hope this will lead us to much more files in many other areas, whether trade, investment, economic cooperation, or technical cooperation, because we are giving our technical assistance everywhere in Africa.
Mr. Ambassador, actually, more than 2,500 Egyptian and Tanzanian engineers and workers did participate in the construction of the dam, putting in total 22 million working hours. How do you see the Egyptian participation in that project?
This is the other side of the coin.
Yes.
It's not only that you are building a huge project, it is that you are giving jobs to Tanzanian people and to Egyptians. And it gives a life for thousands of families, like we are doing all over the world. We are proud that we have 11 million Egyptians doing this same job everywhere, from the Americas to Australia, to Europe, in Africa, in the Arab world. We are the experts of everything, and we are giving our experience to all our brothers and friends.
Sir, actually, with the many challenges facing Africa and actually the whole world, how do you see the importance of the close ties among the different African nations, especially the Nile-bathing countries?
This is also very important, because as we are calling for our friends in the developed countries to come and invest in our countries, we have to do our homework, which I call it homework.
Yeah.
Our bureaucracy in Africa is very challenging.
Yes.
We have to ameliorate the time since the investor put his first $1 million in the bank until he gets the first $10,000 as profits. It takes some time, long time to do that. But in other developed countries, you can count how many hours you spend to start your projects. This is number one.
Yes.
Also, we have to ameliorate our transport system. The transport in our continent is still need a lot of projects. And by the way, we are talking now about connecting the beginnings of the River Nile up till Alexandria with River Nile transport ways.
Yes.
Our banking system, it needs to be much more developed according to the international level. You don't have up till now first-class banking system in many African countries. Many things we have to do to be deserved to attract more and more investors and create more and more projects and more jobs for our people.
Yes. Sir, how has cooperation among the different African capitals impacted the African files like the development and fight of corruption?
As a matter of fact, we have the big umbrella, which is the African Union. And now we have one united free trade area covering more than 50 countries in the continent. This is good. But much better that we visit countries who are ready to go furthermore with more and more cooperation in other fields which does not exist up till now with others. We do that with the Arab world also, that we have the Arab League umbrella, but at the same time we have small groups like the Gulf states, like the Agadir group, which is combined of the Arab countries on the Mediterranean. And so we are doing this in Africa also, that we have the umbrella and the ceiling of the African Union. Same time we visit every single country who is ready to go furthermore in fields of cooperation, new fields which make us benefit and make these countries benefit more. And this is the idea, that we are ready to go further and deeper and wider in any other country who is ready to come towards us and enlarge our relations.
Yes. Sir, what factors impact the ties among the African nations from your point of view, and how we can still increase the level of cooperation among them?
I think we need to be a little bit practical. We have to visit those countries and to see exactly what is on the ground. Because generally everybody is talking theoretically according to the book. The book is not required. What we need is experience. And to my humble experience, I invited a group of highly qualified experts in irrigation and agriculture to visit Cameroon. because Cameroon is have enough water to create a new sector of agriculture. They have the land, they have everything, but they are few people. They do not cover all their needs. So it is the cooperation between Egypt and countries like Cameroon or Nigeria, Kenya, Sudan, in this very important field to us, because we have a food gap in the Arab world which costs us more than $50 billion annually.
Yes.
So if we plant our crops in Africa with our finance and with their cooperation, this is one part of the story. Another story, small industries. I am not talking about huge investment.
Yeah.
I am talking about the forestry. We buy timber and wood from Europe, and this, by the way, African wood and timber, maybe triple the price if we can import it directly from the African countries.
Yeah.
But you need to cut it yourself, because all the wood they are exporting, it is dominated by European companies, which will not sell you wood unless you buy it from their capitals in Europe, and it costs.
Yes.
Here, so I'm asking you to give me $5 million. I will make miracles in Africa with the timber, with the food industry, canned food. The Prime Minister of Cameroon, Simon Ashidashu, phoned me saying, I am not thanking you that you gave me a small gift of those canned food. I am congratulating that Egypt has this industry. Come and teach us how to save our crops and vegetables and fruits. We have a lot to do in Africa.
Indeed, Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Always a pleasure to listen to your precious input, sir. Thank you so much for being our guest. And our dear viewer, clashes in Sudan's Darfur has killed 7 people according to the official toll announced by the state media. Security forces were dispatched to the area to contain the violence.